Hey, what's up, everybody?
Welcome back.
We're back to discuss the Patriots, the New England Patriots. We haven't done a sports review type of video in a while. Since football's back, we probably should do some since we enjoy talking about it. And
yes, indeed.
Second guessing everything that happened during the game and thinking we know better than the coaching people. Anyway, so we are going to discuss the Patriots and Pittsburgh game.
Week two. They were away both games. They haven't played at Gillette yet.
Yeah, I think next week is in July.
Yeah, their home opener. So
who are they playing in the home opener?
Oh God, I don't know who they are.
I forget who they're playing. Is it Baltimore?
Oh God, if it is, it's the Ravens. It's a 1 o'clock game.
Of course it is.
Is what's his name? Is Lamar Jackson still there?
Yeah.
Oh great, we're gonna be doomed now.
Probably.
Yeah. So let's just jump into yesterday's game.
Yeah, the Patriots won 17-14.
They got lucky again.
Yeah, I think the first half to play like absolute garbage. I thought it was going to be more of the same like last week versus Miami. Let me say about last week, the game before against Miami. I didn't know if Miami was actually that much better than the Patriots this year, or if the Patriots just played really terrible. I thought, I think it's like a combination of both because Miami beat Baltimore. That's pretty impressive. It's still early to tell, what each team is going to be. I mean, there's a lot of teams that should have been winning and they've lost.
I would wait like if I'm gonna come out and say like, okay, like these teams are better than that. I would obviously wait it probably till halfway through the season to get a better picture as to who I think is like the top team in the league. Kind of like obviously we're only 2 weeks into it, and I just don't want to come on and say, hey, I think they're going to be very good.
There's certain things like the Raiders. They're 0-2. I wasn't expecting that. The Bengals are 0-2. I was expecting that. I think that figured who else has lost 2 games so far. But mostly, I think there's only a handful of teams that won both games. I think maybe 4 teams, 5 teams. The rest are all 1-1 or 0-2. So there's only a couple of teams, a few teams that are undefeated still, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's going to be one of those seasons where certain teams don't play up to their expectations. Like the Colts with Matt Ryan. I mean, he looked awful, and they got shut out yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, Matt Ryan. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's like our top quarterback kind of.
He went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots a few years back.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
could just be him. I don't know.
But I had kind of high hopes because he was in Atlanta. I thought maybe the team just didn't have enough talent, maybe, and then so they traded him, so maybe they'll be better, on the Colts. And so far, it looks like it's a disaster, and he hasn't been much.
Even the Bucs lately too. Like even obviously Tom Brady still at the NFL, but even the Bucs too. Like they've been struggling for the past 2 weeks as well, and I was surprised by that because obviously Tampa Bay has a pretty good team. I mean, they got lucky yesterday against New Orleans, and then they lost badly the first week. So there's many teams out there that I'm surprised.
I think the Bucs are 2-0, aren't they?
No, they lost week 1.
No, I thought they won last. I think you should look. I think they were 2-0.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think that they lost last week.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Give me 1 second. You can keep talking though.
Oh, so here's why he looks that up. They went against the Steelers and they won. I think the Steelers handed them the game. I don't know. I think that the Steelers just.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. They're 2-0.
I think the Steelers were better than what they showed against the Patriots. I think the Patriots had a lot of penalties. I forget how many, but they had 7 or 8 penalties. They turned the ball over, I think, 3 times. With 2 interceptions, 1 fumble.
I think that too is obviously even before the regular season and even before the preseason, the Patriots are having a lot of issues during training camp. Mainly the offensive line they've been going through a lot of issues over the past couple months.
Yeah, but yesterday the offensive line played unbelievable. That was a one bright spot.
They did, surprisingly.
Offensive line played really well, but their offense was just kind of sputtering. Like they weren't. I don't know. There's just something off with them. They went to Kendrick Bourne. Is that his name? Kendrick Bourne. He's been very limited during each game. I'm not sure why.
I think he got hurt or something.
No, he's been playing.
No, or maybe he got hurt.
He's the leading receiver last year, and in the first game. He played 5 minutes of the final quarter. I don't know what's going on with him. And then this game he barely played, so I don't know if he's in trouble with Belichick or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it was on the sports news where I was reading about it, and they were talking about it, and I think Belichick had one of his weekly conferences, and they asked him oh, why is Kendrick Bourne not playing so much? And they thought maybe a personal thing happened, and Belichick said, "Oh no, nothing happened." I think maybe it's a part of their adjustment plan. Maybe I don't really know.
It's been really weird. Plus, they don't have a clear offensive coordinator. They get it's doing by committee kind of thing, and
it's Belichick, Patricia, and then Belichick's son
and Joe Judge. Don't talk about the offensive coordinator. Yeah. So I don't know It was a good win, but it was kind of like an ugly win as they just still didn't play well. I don't think they played well.
I think as the Patriots go through the season, week by week basis, there has to be a lot more improvement. I mean, I think maybe the next 5 or so more games, it will come to show the ultimate test for them. Even when they go up against high profile teams, it's going to come to show exactly how true their real performance is.
Yeah, I mean, if they go against Baltimore this week at home and they get destroyed,
it's going to say a lot.
That's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't see if they have a losing season. I'm starting to think that Belichick won't be back the following year. I know he's supposedly the best coach in NFL history, and
I don't.
It's but if you go 3 seasons in a row of
losing,
eventually the crowds are going to say, okay, I think it's time to move on, because then they don't want a team that's going to keep losing.
I don't know. I might have to disagree with that. I don't really think it's Belichick's fault as to why the Patriots haven't been such a better team than what they were when Brady was here. I think it's more of, well, maybe it is. I'm going to say a mix of both. I think it's the players and the coaching staff, because obviously McDaniels is gone. He's with the Raiders now, and they don't really have a coordinator. And Patricia and Joe Judge and all of them, they don't really have good, learning when it comes to offense. They don't have
a lot of experience, and I heard a lot of people didn't like Matt Patricia. I'm not a big fan of Matt Patricia. I was glad when they got rid of him when he was with Detroit, but I was kind of disappointed they brought him back.
Yeah, because Detroit didn't do well. They had 2 awful seasons. Then
Detroit never does well. Detroit never seems to win anything except for on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the only time they get lucky. But yeah, I do agree with you on that. I think it was a bad decision by the Krafts to bring him back, and Belichick. I mean, I get you need someone to fill the coaching spots in. I truly understand that. But he doesn't really have good experience. I mean,
I think they could have got other coaches, but for some reason they didn't bother trying. They wanted these 2 guys, and that's just what they did. They didn't bother going to anybody else.
And plus, they probably knew them, so they're like, "Oh, he used to be with us."
Joe Judge and Matt Patricia both with the Patriots before, so I think it just made things easy to bring them back. For what, I don't know what the reasoning behind it is.
Yeah. But I think, they're just a part of the reason as to why the offensive line is not really doing so well. I mean, yesterday's game, they improved, but not by much. It was like a slight improvement.
Yeah, it was better than the first game. It was definitely better than the first game, but they still look like there's something wrong. And Pittsburgh didn't really help themselves. Pittsburgh played like garbage too. Trubisky really didn't do a whole lot, and the running game didn't do anything.
And not to mention Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, he retired, so he's not with them anymore. I think if Ben was still with Pittsburgh, I think the game might have been a different story.
Ben Roethlisberger is, as of right now, is better than Trubisky is. So I don't know. I think it's hard. I mean, the Steelers did beat Cincinnati the week before, but then again, Cincinnati lost on Sunday, so they're 0-2.
Yeah, they are.
So I don't know. It's still too early to tell. It was good that they got the win, so they didn't start the season 0-2, but they sure didn't look well. The offensive line looked better, and their running game, but their passing game is still not that good. I don't know what's
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Actually, I shouldn't. See, it's weird because they both. I think the two guys was. What's his name? Aguilar had, I think, over 100 yards receiving.
Who?
And
who's that?
Aguilar, the reason one of their other receiver.
Oh, I don't pay attention to some of these names. I only know a handful of people.
Jacoby Myers had a good game. I think he had 95 yards receiving.
I like Myers. Myers is pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent. But
and what's the other guy? Damian Harris.
Yeah, the tight ends did nothing again. So last year they were more involved in the passing game. So I don't know.
I'm so glad they got rid of N'Keal Harry over the offseason.
Yeah, he was terrible. I don't think
I remember the day they drafted him, didn't
yeah, first round.
Yeah, I remember the day they came out and said, "Oh, he's a fabulous player. He's like an all-star. He's a pro." Played like garbage. You only caught like one or two passes.
It was too slow. And
he wasn't good.
Couldn't get open. I don't know. He's just supposed to be a big physical receiver, but he didn't show any of that when he was here. I think he averaged like 3 catches per season, or 4 catches, whatever it is. He was terrible. So it was a good back and forth game between Pittsburgh and New England. Both teams, it was just let's see who can make the most mistakes. They both played like garbage. It was kind of like a toss of who's going to win at the end. The Patriots just came out with the win, so
yeah,
both teams need to improve drastically.
They do, and as far as improving goes, I mean, I'm looking at their schedule right now. I mean, the next 2 games, the Ravens and the Packers. I mean, I think it's going to be a test for them because obviously the Ravens are a very good team. They got Lamar Jackson in them, and then the Packers, you have Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
they can start the season supposed to be 1-3 if they lose those 2 games. I mean, both teams I think are better than New England at this point.
Yeah, especially the Packers. I think the Packers have a little bit more of an edge, I would say, because obviously, I like Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan, but I'm just a fan of Rodgers. I just think he's a really good quarterback. And Lamar Jackson, to me, he's very young and he's doing very well.
Yeah, they didn't play well the other day either. So I don't know. I think it was still too early to tell. I think there were teams going through growing pains, whether it be new players, new coaches, or whatever. So it's still too early to tell because there's a lot of teams that have good talent and they just haven't shown it so far. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video.
Yeah.
I just want to do a quick review of what happened with the Patriots won, obviously. But, yeah, I think that's going to do it. As always, appreciate you guys tuning to check out our videos. So hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Until next time.